pretty good. And just so you guys know, you got support desk at ibuzzpro.com, and then that she's very good at answering questions. And then we also have our live chat, and so a lot of ways to get to customer support during the day as well. Okay, let's see. Hold on here, and I'm lost. I gotta go find my. Okay, so if I click on that little area that says, you know, set up your broadcast, now I'm going to log in, and I'm going to agree to all these terms so that my company isn't liable in case you do something stupid. And then I got to click down there. Okay, this is what you're going to see when you log into your account. And you notice the balance up here. Jane, this is where your balance will show, up here in the top right-hand corner. Current account, $386.93, and I've got 13,342 minutes, okay? I can click up here, and it'll show me any campaigns that I've got. Now, if you're a big company, you know, then you might have 10 or 20 campaigns going during the day, and you can actually see them here as they're running, and all this is real-time reporting. So obviously we don't have any that are going on here. But I want to call your attention over here to the left-hand side, and it says caller ID, and you'll notice on the quick start guide, whoop, wrong one. Anybody want health insurance? On the quick start guide, it says log in, and then it says to begin, we need to specify the caller ID that will be displayed for the message being broadcast. Select caller ID from the configuration menu on the left. Click new caller ID to the top right. This opens the caller ID creation wizard to create a new caller ID for your broadcast. Input the number you wish to display and include some basic descriptions. So anyway, I just want to point out it's all right there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to build our voice broadcasting platform. So the first thing you want to do is start adding things to your platform. Like, for example, you want to add caller IDs. Well, maybe you only have one, but maybe you have 10. Say we can all put them all in here. And then they're there anytime you want to do a campaign, and you can just point and click. Same thing with phone list, okay? So any of the phone lists that you're going to put in, you just click here, and we're going to show you how to put in new phone lists. You can see I've already got some in here, right? Then we've got our schedule templates, and we've got our campaign to set up. And so anyway, I'm going to show you how to do all this. We've got caller ID. So you can see I've already got some in here, and the way that I put those in here, I clicked on new caller ID, and then I put in the caller ID phone number. Now these are what's going to show up on the phone. So again, if you're a politician and you call 100,000 people today, tell them to attend your pig roast out at your country farm, that you're going to talk to them about what's going on. You put in your caller ID, and you know why? I'd put in the one to your office, because when their phone rings, it's going to say state senator blah blah blah, and it'll have your name. And if they are in your party, they're probably going to pick it up. So anyway, you can put in any caller ID that you want. You know, again, if you're using somebody's that without permission, it will be found out, and you'll get in trouble. Okay, and then we're going to put in a note here. So I'm going to put in, you know, my office, my sales office. Okay, and I just click save, and you see it was added right down here, my sales office. Okay, and this is was added by John Doe. Okay, I'm the person on this account, which, by the way, you can have several people on one account. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move down here to phone list, and we've already got some in here. So if I was setting up a campaign now, I would have just gone to campaigns. I would have set up new campaign. I would have selected my phone ID. I would have affected my phone list, and so on and so forth. But here we're going to show you how to load a new phone list. I click on new phone list. I click on list name, okay, test account, and split states. I'm going to say yes, I want to split the states, and that's going to actually show me what states, what happened in each state. And then suppress cell phones, I put no because I don't want to suppress them on this list. And I click browse to go get my list, because my list, you know, whether I bought it or created it, stored in a CVS or CSV file on my computer. And so I'm just going to go in there and select it, and then I'm going to click save, and it's in there. See, it's kind of a light gray, but it's, you can see something's in there. Click next. Now this next thing that happens is really cool, because you know, a lot of voice broadcasting systems, all they allow you to put in is a phone number. But we believe in reporting and getting data, and so we let you put in all kinds of stuff. As long as it's a CSV file, you can put all this other stuff in here. I mean, you can see on this list, I've got website addresses, I've got whether they're male or female, I've got you know, all kinds of stuff, IP addresses. I may or may not need all that, but I might need some of it. So what I'm going to do is map this out. I'm going to select lead phone numbers. And where's my lead phone numbers? Well, they're over here in column 8. So I'm going to click on column 8, and I want you to watch this here. It says undefined. Okay, now it says column 008. So my lead phone numbers are in column 008. This is going to be helpful to me later in reporting. Extern ID, I just always select wherever my phone numbers are. And this has to be selected, or you won't be able to do your campaign. Now, so when that happens, and it keeps saying, put in what's your external ID, just remember this. You don't have one probably. We have a lot of customers that do. So just select anything. You know, I just go back and select the phone numbers. Okay, then I want, what's the first name? Well, let's see, where is that first name? Okay, well, that was in column 1. Then I got last name, column 2. And then I've got, let's see, what city are they in? I don't really need their address, but I do need their city maybe. And then state, that's over here. Email. Okay, so that's enough stuff. I'm going to click on save, and then it's going to pop it up here, and it's configuring the data. When that disappears, you're going to see it disappear. You're not going to find it anywhere. And so we'll just let that run, and it's putting together all the data and everything. And when it disappears, like it just did, I don't see it here. So I come up here and I hit refresh list. And bingo, there it is right there. Okay. Schedules, let's go down to schedules. What is a schedule all about? Well, new schedule, that's a template. So let's say that I know that I am doing these calls every Tuesday. So I'm going to click on Tuesday afternoon. That's going to be the name. And then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to put this on. See how these numbers are moving over here? All right, I'm going to set this up for 1:30, and I'm going to end it at 6. Now that really helps if I'm calling, like, you know, 100,000 people, and I'm only going to use a couple of hundred lines. Or maybe 20 lines, you know, then it might take 2 or 3 days to get through that list. So I'm just going to cut it off every day at 6 o'clock. So it's up to you. Now we can set this up on totally flexible. Local time, and that's relative to the lead. So in other words, what that means is if you want to get your calls out at a specific time, and most systems guys, they don't have this. I mean, you just got to call straight across the board. But if you're calling a national list and you want to call at a certain time, you know, say that 1:30 works out really good for you. You know, or maybe it's dinner time, you know, maybe you want to get up there around 4 to 6 or 4 to 7. Maybe you just get the best response at that time. Then what happens is at 4 o'clock Eastern time, the broadcast starts calling, but it's just going to do it on the East Coast. But then it waits until 4 o'clock Central time to start calling the Central Coast people. And then it waits until 4 o'clock Pacific time to start calling the Pacific time people. However, it's flexible. So if you want to start everyone, say on the East Coast time, then that means at 4 o'clock, all the phone numbers around the country will start ringing. So I'm going to click on save, and that becomes a template that I can choose from later when I'm setting up my broadcast. So you'll see I have a choice. I can use it or not use it. But I just set it up there because I do a lot of broadcasts on Tuesdays and at 4 o'clock. Okay, DNC Manager. I'm going to skip campaigns for a minute. DNC Manager, this allows you to set up your own DNC Manager. Most people don't scrub against the do not call list because the do not call list doesn't really mean anything anymore for voice broadcasting. It used to prior to September 2009 because you could call any residential phone number on a voice broadcast without their permission, but you had to scrub against the do not call list. Today, you can't call residential with a voice broadcasting and you know, robocalling unless you have their permission. Now, if they happen to own a business and run the business out of their home, as a lot of multi-level marketing and network marketing and home-based businesses do, they're advertising their home phone number. Even though it's ringing into their residence, it's still considered a business, so therefore it's legal to call those people on a voice broadcast. But you can't specifically go after people that are residential to sell them a new vacuum cleaner or something like that. So anyway, if you want to manually put in somebody on the do not call list, you can do that. It's your manual input. You can upload a DNC file. We'd be more than happy to do that for you if you actually have that file, or else you can do it. I mean, and what this means is, like, if you have a file on your computer, you know, and you've got a file that you just want to pop in there, you can. And we've got again the manual input. We've got do not call states. I would always suggest that you guys become aware of what states allow it and which ones don't. You can just Google it. Do not call area codes. You can put all these in, and then of course we have our automated system where you tell people to press 9 to be removed from the list. It'll automatically add them to your voice broadcasting platform. Okay, and then we've got results file destination. I wouldn't worry too much about that unless you need to save your results and have them emailed to you, then you can do that here. Okay, but our system will store all that for you as well. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to set up a campaign. So I'm going to click on campaigns. Now what we did now is we just set up our system, but now I'm going to set up the campaign. So I click on new campaigns, put in a campaign name. Now here you always see the new campaign wizard comes up. So it's always like, what do I do first? Then after that, it kind of walks you through everything. Okay, so what's a campaign name? Okay, new broadcast. How about that? And where is it? Simple. Our survey. Again, read your little quick start guide because it tells you all this stuff. And we're going to make it a press 1. Okay. And what phone number would you like it to transfer to? Okay, well, I've got an 800 voice mailbox, so I'm just going to put it on there, and this isn't the real number, but so I'd put that in there. You know, if you've got a call center, then you might want to put that number in there. If you want to pick up the phone, put that number in there. The campaign state means that it's paused. It's not going to kick on and start it anytime soon. Then I'm going to put start date is the 23rd, so I can click on this little calendar, opens up just like if you're booking an airline ticket. And the end date is the same day. Again, if I knew this was going to run 3 days or something, but I didn't want it to run into the 4th, then I would probably pick the 27th on here. Answering message. Okay, I can click here. I can pick one that I've already got. I can upload one if I've got it on my computer, or I can record a new one. And if you record a new one, you'll give it a file name. And you click on next, and then you will call that number, enter that account, enter that PIN, and then it will give you instructions on what to do. So it's pretty cool. I'm just going to click on that one, and it uploads right into there. Okay, all right, I'm going to, oh, no, let's see if they have an answering machine. Okay, we'll pretend we have a second message in there. Next, campaign settings. This controls how you want to set up your campaign. All right, caller ID. I'm going to select, remember I put those caller IDs in there. Which one do I want to use? Well, remember I wanted to use that one as to my office. Machine detection is on. That means it's going to detect for answering machines. And most people always want that on, even if you're not doing an answering machine message, because if you want it to detect that there's an answering machine there, because when the machine answers and it detects it, if you don't leave a message for it, it'll just hang up, and it saves you some money that way. The next thing is maximum port type simple. Now, if it was per agent, that would be if you had a call center and you had a lot of calls coming into a call center. Maximum ports, I don't really need 200 on this one, so I'm just going to put in 30. That means how many phone lines do you want, ringing at the same time? Okay, maximum transfer ports. Well, I use the Intel Center program. It's a voice mailbox, but it accepts as many calls as I can throw at the same time. So if I get 100 transfers at the same time, nobody's going to get a busy signal. But you might have them transferring them into one line, so you just want to put one line. And what that means is if it transfers and you answer that and you're talking to that person, our whole program, the whole platform will pause and won't do anything until you hang up, and then it starts up again. So if you have 100 people sitting in a call center, when their lines are all filled now, I just put in 100, the whole system will pause. Okay? Ring duration, 30 seconds. You might want to put that at 45. You're not being charged for it, so don't worry. Maximum passes, 1. I'm going to put maximum passes, 2. What does that mean? Well, that means that once we call everybody, and this will really increase your production. We've had people go, man, the old system I had, I was getting 10 or 20 leads. Now I'm getting 60 and 70. And one of the reasons, there's 2 reasons. One is our connection is percentage is so much higher than any other platform out there. Number 2 is this right here, pass-throughs. We're going to call it once, and then it's going to pass through 2 more times. And that means that any phone that was busy, any that got intercepted by some weird recording or something, or an other, it's going to go through again. I can do machines, I can do no answer too. It'll just go through and call them again. Okay, so you can leave that at 1, or you can put it up to 2. Maximum 1 just means it just called it one time. 2 means it's going to call it again. And I think that Go-To Meetings is soaking up some juice here. Okay, I'm going to click next. Okay, now remember, oops, let's see, where are we? Oh, I'm going to go back previous. So here we are on the campaign wizard, and it says either assign a pre-configured mobile schedule to this campaign or create a custom one. Now remember I said I was going to pick Tuesdays, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to click that Tuesday afternoon, and it selected this one. If I wanted to do custom, I would just click custom for this particular broadcast, and I could just set it up any way that I want. But I'm going to go ahead and click here. It's going to select that one. I'm going to go to next. Okay, sorry. Thought I did. Okay, I don't know why it's not grabbing that. There, okay. All right, now it says assign one or more phone list. Okay, I'm going to use that test account I set up, and I'm going to click next. Destination auto results, and I didn't select that, so I'm going to click next. Now it's putting everything together. And then I'm going to go here and double click on the campaign. And what that does, it pulls up for me a way to glance at the whole thing. And I can look at the campaign type as a survey, and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, I thought it was a +1. Well, +1 is a survey because it's asking a question. I'm going to show you that in a second. Okay, the dates are correct. Hey, wait a minute, I thought I put an answering message in there. Well, you did, but that was a template that you chose, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, so just leave that blank. Sure, Alan remembers that lesson from the other day, right, Alan? And then we've got caller ID. That's the right one. If it wasn't, we can always change it right here. We don't have to go anywhere. Just change it. Machine detection is on. Port type simple, yes. Okay, all that is good. Now I'm going to go to schedule. Okay, this is the schedule I chose. Okay, we're going to leave that. Okay, then I'm going to go to the phone list. Yep, that's the phone list. If I didn't want that, I could remove it. I could assign a different one. I could go and add more if I want. Survey questions. Now this is the thing I want you to really see. And the survey, remember you put in a message in the beginning and didn't show up over here on settings? Remember that? Well, if you go to survey questions, here it is. First one is press 1. Okay? And where do you want that rank? Well, 1. Really, what that means is, hey, if they press 1, you know, because you tell them, hey, press 1, you know, for more information. And so when they press 1, it's going to transfer them over to that number. This one here, the next one, you can add an option, and most people add this one. Okay, here's the transfer, right? And some people use 0, some people use 9, but I'm going to click here and put, now you can do repeat message. That happens a lot. You know, you say to repeat the message, press 2, okay? So I'm going to do that. We'll just do that. So maybe your message says, hey, for more information or to speak to one of our operators, press 1. To repeat this message, press 2. Or to be removed from this list, never get a call from us again, press 0. So you get that? I got 1 for transfer, 2 for repeat, and 0 for do not call. And that would put them on your do not call list. automatically. Okay, so I go up here and I save, and now everything's ready to go, except I go back to settings and it's on pause. What I want to do is put that on active. So that means it's ready, set, and it will start rolling tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I'm going to put it on pause to make sure that doesn't happen, but that's how that would work. Now I can do a test call right here. I just click on test call, put in the phone number and the email that I want that test call, the results emailed to. So if you put in your phone number, it will call you. And I tell you, it's very helpful because some people go, oh man, that was the wrong message, or oh man, that message sounded bad, I need to do a new one, or oh, I forgot to tell them to press 2 to be, to replay the message. Which, listen, if you guys, and I've heard a lot of these people will do a voice broadcast and they'll give people a website to say, hey, I can show you how to make money and get money mailed to you every day, and it's unbelievable, and I want you to go to Make More Money Today on my site.com, and you're going to learn how to make money. And you're sitting there going, wait a minute, I'm driving a car, you just called me, and I'm listening to it, and you're telling me to go, what was the name of that website? Well, what if you said a couple of times, press 2 to hear this message again? They might start to get that website address down. Okay? I don't recommend that type of marketing. You got to call about 10,000 people to get a lot more, leads, but a lot of people do it. And if I always like to go, hey, press 1 to get my website information, and then they can go to my voicemail box, and I speak real slow there and give it to them, or tell them leave their name and number, and I'll call them back and give it to them. But a lot of people, if you're giving out websites or phone numbers, you want to speak slow when you get to that point, and then you also want to make sure that you select, hey, press 2 to hear this message again. Okay, that's a huge, huge, huge little trick that will really help you out. The other thing I want to mention to everyone here that's really important is that when you create a message, okay, when you go over here and you create a message and you record a message, I don't care if you're recording it and saving it on your computer or where you're doing it, but when you do it, you need, I hear this all the time, people will say, and they're losing business if they don't do this. People at the end of their message, they'll say, hey, if you're interested, you want more information, or you want to talk to us, press 1 or press 9 to be removed. Thank you. And they end the message. What happens is you're cutting off your prospect if you end the message that fast. You have to leave about 5 seconds minimum so that they have time to put their phone down in their hand and look at their keypad on their phone and press 1. If you cut that message off within a second, they don't have time to do that. And that call is over, and they try to press 1 and they're not getting transferred. So you have to give it about 5 minutes. So I always count. I'll say, hey, thanks for, listening to me. And if you're interested in making more money and you want more information, press 1 now. Or press 9 to be removed from our list. And then I'll count 5. 1, 2, now obviously under my breath, 3, 4, 5. And then I end my recording. Okay, hope that makes sense to some of you guys, but that will really increase your transfer ratio. All right. So anyway, I've got my broadcast set up, and let's say I wanted to set up another one. So I'm just gonna save that, and I'm gonna close this window. I'm gonna save this broadcast, and now that I know what I'm doing, let's see if I can set up another one. Oh, and I can clone it too. Look at this. I can click on clone. And are you sure you want to clone it? Yeah, I want to clone this one. So what I just did, I just cloned that broadcast. All right. I might want to change the date to the next week because I'm going to do this on a Thursday. Same exact broadcast. I just cloned it. How long did that take? Wow, that was cool. I want to call that list again, but I want to do it now. I want to do it on May the 7th, and I want to use a different list. I want to use this list. Okay, I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to go back through it, make sure I got everything set up correctly. Same call schedule, survey, all that's, yep. Isn't that cool, guys? So now if I want to just do a new broadcast, I hit the back button, click on new. I just want to set up something completely different. I want to do a sales survey, and I'm going to do this on the 24th. I set it up as a press 1 again. I want to transferred to this number, and I want to use this audio that I've already recorded, and I want to use this audio that I've already got set up for the answering machine, and I want it to end on the 8th. That's a pretty big list I've got in there. And the caller ID I want to use that same one I had before. This is all the same. This is all. I'm going to put that back down to 30 phone lines. I want to put this back up to 2. And maximum ports, I got that new system in, so we'll go with 10. Then I click on next. And I want this one to be custom because I'm calling on a Wednesday. So I'll just set this up for Wednesday. I like to call between 3 and 7. Click on next, and I want to use this list right here that I loaded, and I don't need that, so I'm going to come back here and I'm going to double click. I want to go to settings. That's all good. Okay, schedule's good. Phone list, yep. Okay, I want to add do not call, and I want to add, if they press 2, they can click on repeat message. Remember, you have to have that in your broadcast message. I'm going to click on save, and now I've got another new broadcast ready to go. I click on active, and that baby's set and ready to go. The fuse is lit. So that's how fast you can set up a broadcast.